Hey guys, this is Jacolia of Jacolia Gems. Thank you for coming back once again to view my channel. If you are new here, welcome. If you are returning, hey family, welcome home. Thank you for the subscriptions, for the comments, for the likes, as well as for the shares. If you have not already done so, what are you waiting on? Go ahead and hit the subscription button, as well as turn on your post notifications. Like this video, share it, and let's engage. Let's have some conversations. So, on today, I want to talk about something, and this is a topic I'm gonna delve deeper into as I start to venture out into different aspects when my platform grows. I know y'all know I'm gonna have a podcast. Like, I know y'all know that podcast, talk show, something, but we're waiting and allowing the Most High to do things organically and not forced. With that being said, the topic that I want to talk about is men and their unexpressed emotions. Their verbally unexpressed emotions is what I will say. Um, Growing up, my grandfather taught my father that love is an action. He was one of those men who was in the war. He was in the Air Force, the special um, operations, and he didn't say I love you a lot. I remember my granddaddy. I would say I love you, granddaddy, and he would say mm-hmm. But one of my kids would say I love you, pawpaw, and he'll say I love you too. And I say for real, granddaddy. But I knew my grandfather loved me. But before he died, he started telling me I love you. He knew that's something that I love and I craved. Now my father says I love you a lot. Yet both of them reiterate without a shadow of a doubt that love is an action. Now, in this video, I am not going to assert that men who operate in this dynamic are in love. What I will say is that some men will love a woman, not be in love with her, not want to be with her in that moment, yet does enough to keep her in his grasp because it's something about her in particular. Now, when I make this video, I do not want women being delusional. This video does not apply to all women. Just because this has happened to you once or twice does not make it a pattern, does not make it a lifestyle. This video does not apply to all men. And this video is not about accessibility. It's not about being easy. It's about understanding the psyche of things. So come with me on the journey. We know that we live in a day and age where there are situationships. And we see posts online when people refer to breaking up in situationships, oftentimes being harder than breaking up with someone that you were actually in a relationship with. What we have really not delved into, at least I have not seen, is the how-tos and the why. More times than not, when you enter into a situationship with someone, there's a mutual understanding. And that's something already that goes lacking in a lot of relationships. There's a mutual understanding that no matter how deep this goes and how far this goes, we will never be together. That's normally the understanding. It's an unspoken thing most times. A lot of times, a woman that's in a situationship with a man listens to him. This does not equal all situationships, because all situationships, some people not talking, they're not checking in, they're not arguing like they're a couple, they're not being very passionate with one another, very trusting with one another. They're not being vulnerable. They're not talking about family and friends and, doing things like this. It's different levels to situationships. They're not cuddling and spending the night and exchanging money. They're not being there for one another through life circumstances and up and down. So all of those things matter. I'm talking about something deeper. I'm talking about when a man allows himself to become vulnerable with a woman. When a man begins to allow himself to open up and talk to this woman about his thoughts, his dreams, what he's afraid of, his aspiration. When a man begins to teach, a woman things, when he begins to assess her and begin to watch her moods, her ups and downs, her ebbs, her flows, when he begins to compliment her verbally, when she begins to even point out some of her own flaws, when she catches him looking at her when he doesn't think she's paying attention, when a man begins to roll over in the middle of the night and reach out for you or begin to cuddle you and just be passionate, when lines begin to cross, but men still operate as being single, because more times than not, if you meet a woman that's over 34, 35, she's really not that much bouncing between multiple men. And if she is, she's not being emotionally invested with all of them. So a lot of times these men are out here being with multiple women, but this woman is being with this one man. And those other multiple women are being with multiple men, and so on and so forth. So he gets comfortable, but he still treats her as if he's single because he has the right to do so. But when she begins to remove herself, he spazzes out. Why does this happen? For me, it comes off as a false level of authority, a false level of possession. It says you're mine and you belong to me, but you're not, because I owe you no thing and you owe me no thing. Yet, if you want to be platonic and keep things business as usual, I don't want to deal with you anymore. But if men were not as emotional as they say, then why is a woman not allowed to put you back in friend zone and remove the physicality of things? If we have a mutual agreement that no matter how far things go, we will never be with one another, what happens to the mutual agreement that if this becomes too much for one of us, we could step away? Or if you start doing something that she doesn't like, or if she start doing something that you don't like, we can take the physicality off of the table, but we can still have some interactions. Why do situationships have to end like relationships if there was truly a mutual understanding? Do men truly have the ability to detach how they say that they can? If this be the case, why do they risk their lives, literally their marriages, their relationships, their reputations, not for every woman, but for specific women? Why do men not do what's going to feed them and satisfy them completely versus weighing all of their options and then being salty when they lose something that they had in their possession, knowing that they'll never find it again? Comment down below and let me know what y'all think about this. And remember, this is not one size fit all. This does not mean that all men do this and that all women are capable of having multiple men operating this. And let's take physicality off the table, because some women have the ability to never touch you, but can change your entire train of thought, your mind, your body, your soul, and your spirit. This is Jacolia of Jacolia Gems signing off. Go ahead, do me a favor. Subscribe to my channel. So we meet again, family. Food for thought.